welcome. Finding Everlasting Fitness. It's your every Wednesday night fitness show. And we're just going to wait here and connect a little bit, see if some people come on board. We have this show every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. And we covered different topics on fitness. Things that relate to fitness but not directly necessarily doing exercises. How to get the most out of your body, how to protect your body, how to build physical power over and above just doing strength training and cardio. So we go into some details that you might not hear anywhere else here. So, by the way, you can go back and look at the previous posts that I put up, live streams. For a few weeks, I wasn't going out to the public. Unfortunately, I had a button tweaked, so it was only live streaming to me. But the replays are all up there. So if you haven't seen the previous Finding Everlasting Fitness live streams, you can just go back and check them out. We covered some amazing topics: squat pace training, learning about the circuit of life, ways of focusing our attention so that we get the most out of our fitness practice. So go back, take a look. It's all on my Facebook page, also on the Andre's Online Fitness Club page. It's all up there. It's just like two places to get the same stuff. By the way, I do not treat any illnesses. I do not diagnose. So this is just for information and entertainment purposes. But this is stuff that has really transformed my life and how I approach fitness. These are techniques that I've applied to actually break fitness world records, set fitness world records, end up in the Guinness Book of World Records. I'm in my mid-50s at this point, and it's really important to understand the biomechanics, the musculoskeletal system, and keeping it in alignment. Very, very crucial as we age, especially. And if you're doing power fitness training, even that much more important. But it's important for everybody. I want to give you a little background of how I got into this aspect of fitness training, which is the fitness corrective exercises part of it all. And this is a regular practice that I have just to keep everything aligned so that I can maximize my energy output, my workouts. It must have been about 7 or 8 years ago, I got hit by a car. It wasn't a heavy hit. It was a car that was backing up, and I went to try to stop the car. Not that strong, but I tried. It was a reflex action that I had, and in that process, my vertebra went off a little bit. My pelvis went off. But I didn't notice it. The person I was walking with was like, "Are you all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." I kept on walking. I really didn't feel anything. But 2 weeks later, I was in the middle of a workout and I buckled to the floor. I buckled to the floor. This had never happened before. So it took 2 weeks for this chain reaction to happen, this domino effect in my spine, in my pelvis, for that alignment to just go to it's like a 1/16 of an inch. I can't even tell you how small the displacement must have been. It started off with some signs. I felt something, but I thought I could push through it. Mistake number one, don't do that. So I buckled to the ground, and I went to a chiropractor. I got myself back in alignment. After a couple of weeks, I was back in action, and I was doing very well for a number of months, and I started feeling the tweak again. So that's what started it all. And some of you might identify with that, where you might have been in an accident, and that once you've gone through an accident and your alignment goes off, you have to be very, very careful. So especially for those of you that that's happened to, this program is going to be very valuable for you. I certainly hope it is going to be. This is an approach that I've had in keeping my alignment, and it works like a charm. It's 100%. The thing is, it needs to be practiced. It needs to be consistent. It's very easy and takes anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes. You could do it in the morning, in the evening. I recommend doing it twice a day as a maintenance program. That's what this is. Um, there are variations on this. I'm not going to get into all the variations of the fitness corrective exercises. Once you're injured, there are things you can do that are more specialized. This is just the general maintenance program I'm going to show you. It's very cool. So, by the way, you have to do it barefoot. So if you're going to try it along with this live stream, which you might want to, you might want to take your shoes off. Better for your alignment, because if you're wearing shoes right now that you've been walking in or jogging in or whatever you do, and if you've been slightly out of whack, the shoes are going to wear unevenly too. So if you do the fitness corrective exercises, it's going to be a little more challenging, and aligning yourself might not be as accurate as if you're actually barefoot. Okay, so you have a little bit more of an obstacle if you're wearing shoes. So take them off. I believe that by applying this, and this is something that I've felt, because when I was recovering, a few times that I had to recover from the back injuries that I had years ago, I can actually say what I felt like. I felt like an old man. That's what I felt like. I felt like this is just never going to go away, and this is it. And I've had minor versions of that, where I had aches and pains, let's say in my knees, and really it was just my hip that was out. I felt my knees aching, but my hip was out. It's all connected. You could have a misalignment in your knees, and your shoulder might be aching, or you might cause some rotator cuff issues. So it's all connected. So just because you have aches and pains in one part of your body doesn't mean that that's the area that necessarily that you have to address immediately. Aligning yourself overall is the key. Think about a car, and this is really a great analogy. So you have a car, you've never aligned your car. As you're increasing your speed, it starts to wobble. You really can't take that car up too fast, because you're just going to break that car apart. Now, if you got an alignment, if you rotated your tires, got everything in line, you can maximize your car's power. Now you can ride that car as fast as possible without it starting to shake all over the place and almost fall apart, right? So it's the same idea. If you're in alignment, you can get a lot more power out of your body. So, all that said, I'm going to show you the 4 pillars routine. Very basic. I'm going to show you just the most basic versions of this. So again, barefoot. You want to be barefoot. We're going to be addressing the neck, the atlas point, that's the top of the spine basically, the shoulders, the hips, and the knees. All right, so those are the 4 pillars, 4 joint areas that are most affected. We're not going to be working on the ankles in this session, but these are the most common areas of injury. So for the neck, the very first thing that we would do, bring your arm up. This is my right hand. It looks backwards on the camera over there, but I'll try to work with that. So this is my right hand up to my shoulders, pulling this shoulder down. I'm actually squeezing that right shoulder blade back and down. I'm going to look toward the right. So it's my right hand. I'm looking 45 degrees toward the right. And I'm going to pull my head. Ooh, I got a nice little crack there. Forward at a 45-degree angle as I'm pulling down on my right shoulder, this right shoulder. 10 counts. You can breathe deeply. You can count on your inhalation and exhalation. Each one could be 1. So it will be 10 counts on this side. Deep, deep breathing through the nose exclusively. That helps to relax the muscles. By the way, getting a good stretch here. This is the migraine point. So excellent if you get migraines. All right, so it's a 10 count. Other arm up to shoulder. That head looks in that direction, 45 degrees. And you pull down 45 degrees across stretching out the neck here, and it's just another 10 counts. So I'm not going to go through the full 10 counts here, just to kind of move it along for you. Then you're going to take your hands, pull your head down, make sure your spine is straight. Same thing, 10 counts here. So we're just loosening up the neck, freeing up the muscles around the atlas point. 10 counts there. Next one, arms straight up. Right here we're trying to get the shoulders basically almost like you're trying to dislocate the shoulders straight up, okay? If there's any impingement, if there's any tightness in there, we're trying to get that as high as possible. Stretching at the belly button, pushing the heels into the floor. So I'm just lengthening my fingertips up to infinity. I actually have my finger pointing up like that. Same thing, 10 counts. Lengthening, opening up this rotator cuff, the whole shoulder girdle, just opening up. And that is 10 counts as well. And drop the arms down, hands behind the back. We're going to roll the shoulder blades together. Shoulders are rolled back and down. And this is crucial, especially for women. Number one area of injury for women, the shoulder. 10 counts here, just rolling it back. Open up that rib cage and hold it right there. And then you release. Alright, so we got the neck, we got the shoulders. Now we're going to go for the hips. Now there are a few ways of doing this, depending on your balance and all. You can always have a chair by you, put one hand on a chair if you need to. But this, if you have good balance, arms up in a T, keep the shoulder blades rolled back and down together. I'm lifting my right leg. Same thing, 10 counts. If that's too easy for you, and it shouldn't be too hard by the way, it's just an alignment process, you can straighten your leg. So it's 10 counts. So you can start like this, and then straighten your leg, just for 10 counts. Shoulders are always rolled back and down. Then we go for the other side. You can start with the knee lift, and then straighten your leg out. Now if you have any slippage in your lower back, you're going to feel pain in one side or the other. But if you don't feel any pain, you're pretty well aligned. That's good. And that's the idea. You want to keep it like that. Same thing, roll the shoulders back and down. Now we're going to lift to the side. If it's too hard, you could start like this. Some of you might be familiar with this pose. Next phase would be this. If that's too easy, just leg to the side. So this would be more of a beginner, intermediate, and advanced. And you just hold this. It should not be painful. It should almost be enjoyable to do this. So 10 counts, and then the other side. So you can either do this, that's for beginners, if you need to hold your balance possibly, or this, your foot could be relaxed, or straight leg. 10 counts. Just like that. And then finally, you might need to use something. I'm going to use this bench. This is for the knee alignment. We're going to hold a little bit of a squat. You could do this against the sink. You just need something to hold on to. So you could lean back. What you want to do is make sure your feet are pointing straight. I'm going to do it without that bench now. And you're going to hold this for 10 counts. Only go as deep as you feel confident going. If you only feel confident going this deep, that's fine. And again, you can hold on to something. The idea is you want your feet to be pointing straight and your knees to be in line. That's the goal. So I'm just going to review it real fast here. We have this, which is for the atlas point. Do this on both sides, 10 seconds or 10 counts for each side. Right in the center, 10 counts here as well. Then we have the shoulders. Straight up, fingers pointing to infinity, lengthening. So you're just trying to pull the shoulders get basically almost like you're dislocating that shoulder. You're not gonna be able to. Just straight up. That's the idea. Then we clamp. Roll the shoulders back and down. Hold that 10 counts as well. And then we start with the shoulders rolled back, forward leg lifts. You have the variations, which I showed you earlier, both sides. And then finally, to the sides, all these lateral movers here, right? Gotta strengthen those, especially if we sit a lot. Those atrophy real fast. And then finally, sorry, this is the one that's finally, the isometric squat. You could go as deep as you feel confident going. It's up to you. So those are the 4 pillars right there. If you do that twice a day, really it wouldn't take more than 3 minutes each time. If you're just doing 10 counts for each one of those exercises, you will begin to align these joints like you wouldn't believe. It's such a subtle process. It's subconscious. Your body will learn. It's called creating a demand. So by doing these exercises, your body is registering, oh, I need to be able to stabilize it this way, that way, this way, that way. It's going to listen to you. It happens. You have to be patient. You won't feel it instantly. I worked with somebody yesterday, actually. We went through some fitness corrective exercises. She had a very specific issue. So we put together a few exercises. She said by today, she was almost better, ready to come back to classes. Right? So she got a pretty quick reaction to it rather. For you, don't put any time on it. It might take a couple of days if something's out. But if you practice it, if you're not injured at all at this point, you will prevent injury moving forward. And that's the key, is we just work out not being aligned. Think of that analogy to the car, right? Crucial. If you want to work out, you want to make sure your alignment is in place. Fitness corrective exercises. If you want more information, you could always message me here. You can message me through my website, workoutwizard.net. And as always, Wednesday nights we are here at 7 o'clock. If ever you have questions that you want to ask me on these live streams, please feel free. And I hope to see you next Wednesday. Have a great week.